The millionaire, Adrian Cole, walked into the small-town bank with the same amused arrogance he carried everywhere. He had businesses across 3 states, a mansion overlooking the ocean, and an attitude that made people think he was untouchable. Today, he came only to check his balance, as he told the teller with a dry smirk, because the town's ancient ATM had been too slow for someone of his caliber. The teller, a young woman named Lily, didn't react to his mocking tone. She simply typed his account number into the computer. Adrian leaned against the counter, tapping his gold watch, glancing around at the outdated furniture, silently judging everyone who wasn't him. He loved moments like this, when he could feel superior by doing absolutely nothing. Lily, meanwhile, typed carefully, her eyebrows tightening when the system hesitated. Adrian noticed and chuckled. "System can't handle money in millions, I guess," he said loudly enough for nearby customers to hear. A couple of them exchanged glances but said nothing. Lily swallowed, trying not to react to the disrespect. She was used to difficult customers, but Adrian's tone carried something colder, like he genuinely enjoyed seeing other people shrink. The computer processed the request slowly, and Lily felt a strange twist in her stomach as the screen finally loaded, displaying figures she wasn't expecting at all. Adrian noticed her frozen expression and smirked again. "Come on, dear, I don't have all day. Just read me the number. I'm sure it's as impressive as always." His voice dripped with confidence, but Lily didn't answer. Instead, she took a small breath and turned the screen toward him. Adrian leaned forward lazily at first, then suddenly stiffened. The number staring back at him wasn't the 8-figure sum he expected. Not even close. Instead, his balance read $247.19. For a moment, the bank seemed to fall silent around him, the sound of printers, quiet conversations, and footsteps fading into nothing. His smirk disappeared so fast it almost looked painful. What kind of joke is this?" he snapped, straightening up, his voice shaky despite his attempt at dominance. Lily shook her head. "Sir, this is exactly what the system shows." Adrian's heartbeat thumped in his ears. It couldn't be true. His wealth came from offshore accounts, investments, and holdings he barely communicated with his accountants about anymore. But this was his central liquid account, the one he used for daily operations. "Check again," he demanded. Lily did, but the number didn't change. Adrian suddenly became aware that customers were turning to look at him. The humiliation felt like heat crawling up his neck. Adrian stepped back, trying to gather his thoughts. Only yesterday, he had transferred funds from one of his companies. It should have hit by now. He also remembered approving a few payments, but they were routine, nothing that could drain millions. Unless, he pulled out his phone with trembling fingers and opened his email. The first subject line hit him like a punch: urgent, unauthorized withdrawals detected. His face paled. He clicked through messages rapidly: fraud alerts, flagged transactions, warnings from his financial manager, all sent throughout the week. Somehow, he hadn't seen any of them. His arrogance often made him ignore anything he assumed assistants could handle. He had traveled abroad 2 weeks ago, handing temporary access to a junior accountant he barely knew. He remembered bragging at a dinner party about not needing to worry because people fear stealing from a man like me. But clearly, someone didn't. Adrian's hands shook as he read the final message, a confirmation that the junior accountant had vanished, draining everything he could and fleeing the country. The scam was planned, detailed, and devastating. His fortune hadn't disappeared overnight, it had been leaking away for months while he stayed proudly oblivious. Lily watched with a mix of sympathy and disbelief as the proud millionaire's shoulders slumped. "Do you want to file an emergency report?" she asked softly. The question cut deeper than anything. He, a man who mocked everyone for their small bank problems, was now standing exactly where he always believed he'd never be, helpless at a counter, needing assistance, stripped of the confidence he wore like armor. He nodded silently, unable to speak. The customers who heard him laugh earlier now watched him with quiet curiosity, not malice, just surprise at how fast a man's life could turn upside down. As Lily filled out the report, Adrian felt a sinking realization: he had built an empire but never built trust. His employees feared him, not respected him. His accountants handled everything alone because he never listened long enough to understand his own finances. And now, the one person he entrusted temporarily had betrayed him entirely. He remembered conversations he ignored, warnings he waved away, signatures he gave without reading. Every decision rooted in his arrogance now stood before him like a list of personal failures. When Lily finished, she slid the papers toward him. Adrian signed them slowly, his pen dragging across the page. He glanced around the bank again, this time without judgment. The chairs, the dusty windows, the old carpet, they all looked strangely grounding. Real. Human. Lily whispered, "You're not the first person to lose money. You can rebuild." Adrian closed his eyes. Rebuild? He wasn't sure he knew how. But maybe this moment, this humiliating, crushing moment, was the push he needed to see the world beyond his wealth. As he walked out of the bank, his expensive shoes felt heavier than ever. The sun outside seemed sharper, the air colder. For the first time in years, he wasn't thinking about profits or expansion, only about how fragile everything truly was. He paused at the sidewalk, staring at pedestrians rushing by, ordinary people carrying burdens he once mocked. He suddenly understood them in a way he never had before. And somewhere inside him, past the panic and humiliation, a small spark flickered, a quiet resolve to start again, this time with humility instead of pride. His fortune was gone, but maybe his second chance had just begun.